and welcome to the Jonesin On A Whim AFC North preview, which is also going to be our top 11 for the week. We're trying to segment the podcast because it is the four of you that listen have kind of mentioned that longevity has been your problem, which is probably your problem in bed. But here at Jonesin, we don't have that issue, but we will adjust to your lacking of skills in every manner.
Not even mouth sex?
Whoa.
From a night ago.
Foreshadow.
Via either your fantasy team or your just personal life in general. But AFC North, top 11. We're going to dive into that. We'll start with the most popular team in the division over time. And it's not most popular with us, but
No.
but maybe most annoying. But with the Steelers, they made a big change recently, and it's something that should be addressed. Number one on our list: how good can the Pittsburgh Steelers offense be under newly hired offensive coordinator Todd Haley?
Now they've had a long time to get it together. I mean, this full off-season situation is going to bear fruit for some people, and in other teams, it's going to expose them. Because I felt like last year the defenses were at a bigger disadvantage than the offenses when you had the situations with the lockout and the short camps and everything else. Now, I mean, I think it comes down to this line, man, more so than the coaches and everything else. Is this line going to ever... They're going to need to block this time because the talent at running back isn't going to be there. And their receivers, they have speed, but they're going to need time.
Mm-hmm. And remember that, it's Todd Haley. So that's the biggest part of the question is his influence.
He was a disaster as a head coach, but we've seen other disasters as head coaches be good coordinators before and after they were disastrous head coaches.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, the Steelers are one of my teams that I have tagged to have an off year. 12-4 last year, and I didn't see that happening again. And
it was quiet, 12-4.
Yeah, it was.
And an early exit in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, how good was he before? Before he was head coach, I mean, where was he coordinator?
Arizona,
and that
when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So and
that offense put up points. I mean, with Arizona.
But that paragraph, so.
But they had sweet Kurt Warner too. But that's I'm not gonna keep doing that. But
Big Ben's not better? Come on. Yes, he's better.
How dare you? He's good.
All right. Well, here's my diatribe. What's the term on
diatribe?
Diatribe would be
Yeah.
Haley has a history with the Steelers organization.
Yeah.
His father was a personnel man, and he was a ball boy himself. This hire it made more sense if it was the same offense that Wisenhunt had there. Which is Arizona's head coach, but prior, the offensive coordinator in Arizona. I mean, right? No. Offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. So that's the connection with why they brought Haley in.
Okay.
But because I'm probably not trying to rehash what I just said. But Wisenhunt came from Pittsburgh.
Who cares?
Offensive coordinator. They went to Arizona. He went to Arizona, head coach. He brought in Haley, offensive coordinator. So now they thought hiring Haley to be their offensive coordinator would be a smooth transition.
Yes.
And it hasn't been so much because what Haley has done since his days in Arizona under Wisenhunt, it's changed. 90% of the offense that he created is different than what Wisenhunt's ever had. And that offense is what Big Ben has had this whole time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's not a good fit?
But what Todd Haley is known for is his ability to transition his approach to the talent around him, his system.
Yeah.
I mean, not his system, but his offense. So
you mean he's a good coach then? For offense?
I've always defended. He's a hothead, but I've always defended him as a offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So how good this offense will be will depend on his ability, which has been proven, to alter his approach to the talent around him. And they were top 15. Everybody shouted at defense a year ago. They were still in the top 15 in the league offensively. They'll be fine. Mike Wallace is coming back. They don't have a running game, but they didn't last year. Mendenhall was out most of the year. Big Ben's a top 5 quarterback. They'll be fine. I don't see it falling off at all. They'll be fine. And that was a roundabout way to get to what I wanted to get to. And if you read what I wrote, it'd be easier to get there. But I'm several beers in, and it's Sunday.
Hooray!
So in a nutshell, Haley's ability to adjust his approach may be the saving grace in this transition. The hire made sense because he was under Wisenhunt. He head coached in Kansas City. That was a failure. I don't think he got enough time there, but he has ties to this organization, so it made sense. I don't know why they fired the offensive coordinator to this point, but because their offense wasn't bad. I thought it would be worse than what
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
No, so.
Between Wallace and Brown, you got good young receivers.
Right,
and
and
all going to be better.
All of them, yeah. Antonio, whatever his name is, yeah. They have youth on the edge, and the running back. They didn't run last year, so whatever. I didn't see the need for it, but Todd Haley being a hire, I'm fine with that. He's probably one of the top 5. He got Kurt Warner to it, Super Bowl, so.
Quit hating on sweet Kurt Warner.
I'm getting out of the way of that one.
Stop it.
So that makes sense.
Look, they were top 10, barely, in passing yardage. And they were top 15 in rushing.
Surprising. That's what I'm didn't run the ball. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Quote, unquote.
This offense didn't need to be fixed.
It's just, they just needed some reboots in terms of depth and talent.
That's my point. And the offensive line got younger.
So there's things in place that makes you believe that offense should be better this year.
Yeah, but even if it's not, it's still fine. That was a top 15 unit. It's like I don't think it needed to be upgraded. So, but anyway, Steelers we'll get to how they finish the season here in a bit. But the defense seemed to be old, and if you look at the numbers, it's not. Should the Steelers number 2 in our top 11 in our review of the AFC North? Should the Steelers defense now be considered too old to be dominant, to be a dominant unit, to be the dominant unit it's been in the past? It was number 1 overall.
Really?
Total yards given up. Was number 1.
Wow.
Anyone care to weigh in on that?
I didn't really realize that, when it happened. I thought like Baltimore or Houston was like number 1.
No.
But, yeah, it feels like they're getting old, but they're still gonna shut down, an average offense.
Because they still have talent, and their style is aggressive, and in some ways borderline arrogant based on the talent that they have. Mm-hmm. And they went home because
Dick LeBeau is still the coordinator, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's strong.
He knows how to coach.
Yeah.
But he doesn't exactly, play it safe.
Yeah, number 1 might be a stretch, but they still feel like a top 5 defense.
Most likely. Yeah. Because I don't think they're ready to fall off that big of a cliff yet.
Yeah.
Because they're older. Maybe the talent isn't the same, but they're going to be aggressive. So, like Stephon said, you show up against an average team and you play it aggressive, you're going to shut them down.
And here we go. They're not as old as you think. Their average age is below 28. And they dumped 3 starters from a year ago that were 35, respectively. All of them. Aaron Smith, James Farrier, and Chris Hope. They were all 35 or older.
So they just got...
So they got younger. They got a lot younger. Yeah. They got younger. So
Redding was on the Ravens. That's right. The Steelers have Casey Hampton.
Yeah. He's been
wrong Texas.
He's been gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, so the younger fill-ins, they tend to draft well. If they drop off, it won't be because of age. They've gotten younger. And I think this 28 average included these 3 35-year-olds. So the age is even younger. So
yeah, and the Steelers don't pay a lot of guys past their prime. They're not one of those teams. They're pretty smart with money.
Yeah.
So that's
you keep Harrison sane.
Yeah, yeah, that would help.
Ryan Clark takes care of the secondary, and they'll be fine.
But yeah, they have a good track record with cutting them loose.
Oh, no doubt.
And it's time.
It's the beauty of them, and that's a decent segue to the Ravens, who also kind of have they have their. It's one of the better run organizations for me, in my opinion. But and going on defense, how good can that defense in Baltimore be without Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed and Ray Lewis a year older?
Now, is Suggs out for the season?
Oh, yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
He's claiming he's going to make it, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Modern technology.
Well, this was, an Achilles injury, right?
Right.
I mean, that's serious. That's like.
But it happened in April.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. That could limit his explosiveness, I would think.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if he
no
does
doubt.
come back.
No doubt.
And yeah, that's the biggest X factor for me for their defense. I mean, no disrespect to Ed Reed, the will he or won't he play, but
he's back.
He went ahead this week, and he's gonna.
Oh, he is.
Well, I told y'all always.
Yeah,
it's my boy. We go on the street. We hang out in New Orleans.
That's X factor because not just the sacks, but also he influences the play calling because of the way he plays. He's straight up field, and he's gunning for the quarterback. So it's like you got to call 3-step drops.
Right.
You got to call a lot of draws. So the defense can kind of key on that, and that makes the rest of them better.
But and why is Baltimore, why the Ravens, the organization and the football team that they've been the past 8 years, 6 years, 6 years maybe? No, I guess 2001 when they won the Super Bowl.
Ozzie Newsome.
Right.
Yeah.
And he drafts. He runs this organization. So they clearly have depth.
Oh yeah.
So Suggs goes down. But they've got guys behind him. Courtney Upshaw, Sergio Kendall,
yes.
who, if we can just keep him away and not falling down the stairs and right. So their depth and on defense especially, and in that one position is why the defense is going to fall off. And Ray Lewis, I guess. Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are old. They don't show it. They don't really.
No, they don't.
I don't see it.
No.
So they were, and people forget they were a field goal away from going to the Super Bowl last year. A very makeable field goal away. So this defense will be as good. Suggs is certainly going to be missed. Mm-hmm. But the depth at that position on weak and strong side, they'll work it out. And so no, I don't think that. I think it can be good. I think it'll be a top 5 unit again. And
I agree. It's nothing really to add to that. It's Baltimore's defense. I mean,
it's like you pencil it in, right?
Yeah,
it's your first fantasy defense you draft, and because Ed Reed is so special, and I'm so biased, but because he's from New Orleans. But he's so special. He's where he needs to be. And to compare him to these other centers in the league just make me laugh. And really, I laugh. Yeah, so I said safeties.
Oh, okay. I thought you said centers.
No, I said safeties. He's missed here.
Let's go to the region.
I'm not that drunk yet. I'm working on it.
Hey,
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
But it makes me laugh that he's compared to anybody else as far as what he does, where he is, his situation. And the only other guy I compare him to, who just shows my bias even further, is Ryan Clark, and we'll get to him later. But no. Why would I compare him to him? You knew, right? Yeah, you thought you knew better. So number 4 in our top 11, and reviewing the AFC North. In the offseason, Joe Flacco claimed on Baltimore radio that he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
I need a drink water before you bring that up.
Was he drunk?
Spit out what I was drinking.
Spit takes.
This obviously isn't true, but where would you rank him?
Somewhere 10 to 15. I mean, I got him behind Eli. I got him behind Rivers. I even got him behind 12 weeks of Mike Vick. So he's ahead of Matty Ice to me. I think that's clear.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I think maybe even 1 foot cripple Schaub, he might be right around ahead of that too. So I don't have my exact number yet, but like around 10 to 15.
Yeah, if you put him at 10, I wouldn't complain. I think he's in the conversation there. He's clearly better than some of the quarterbacks you think of in the mid range, like Dalton, who had a good season.
Rookies, yeah.
Rookie season, yeah.
And Cam, the rookies.
Yeah, he's better than Cam.
And I'll get into that.
He's not in. Well, we know he's not in the upper tier.
No,
the rarefied air, and he's not in that second tier either.
No, that second tier is better than him.
Yeah.
So that's where you end up around 9.
Right, and that's the perfect number. And this is my assessment. He's somewhere after 8, because you can't put him ahead of Breeze, Brady, Rodgers, Big Ben, the Mannings, and Romo and Rivers, which I'll admit.
Now you're about to number 9 or 10.
That's 9.
Yeah.
So I'll lump him in with the second tier, the Staffords, the Schaubs, the Cutlers.
And see, I don't think he could talk about dealing with Stafford either.
I'm not ready to give Stafford love.
Different offense.
Because Calvin Johnson is retarded.
It gives you an unfair advantage.
It does. And I want Stafford, and also he can't stay healthy as a quarterback. And Schaub, that's why lumping Schaub and Stafford together is perfect, because how do you not? You're a quarterback. How do you not? As a quarterback, you can't stay healthy.
Well, he stayed healthy last year, and look what he did.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. So I think talent-wise,
with a vertical offense with no run.
No, Stafford's had it. He has.
Yeah.
And that's why I love him. And Cutler can't be forgotten because he's fearless, and we've given him
obviously doesn't give a shit about what anybody
right. And that's the beauty of that situation, because in Chicago you need that. But Cutler's coming to his own, and
if he can,
we've I've dogged him more than anybody, and I'm still going to.
But last season was a nice little shut the fuck up everybody until he got hurt. I mean, he was playing his ass off.
It was. They were one of the best teams in football at that time.
And Bears fans are not used to their quarterbacks doing that.
They're not used to a quarterback at all. They deserve that. That's a shitty fucking city. But anyway,
Hors d'oeuvres, anyone?
I'd put him.
That's right around
9 to 12. He's in that range. He's not insane, and you want your quarterback to have the confidence and
even arrogance.
Right, but he doesn't.
A little delusion.
Little delusion's okay. Yeah.
And it's fine.
And it's tough because with their offense, especially with their defense, there's not like he's having a whole bunch of I need to make this 89-yard drive.
And he's one of the best deep ball passers.
Mm-hmm. And we wouldn't really know it because
they don't have. Yeah, we'll put now with
Torrey.
Yeah, he's gonna bring that.
Maybe because no offensive line can buy you enough time for Bolden to get down. The man is slow.
Right, but and this it might be that time we'll get to the final standings here in a bit.
Oh, right.
But 9 to 12, I think we all agree. He's still, so it wasn't completely insane.
He was just wrong as hell. That's all.
Wrong.
Right.
Yeah, but
and then you say it, but you're in the top half. You know,
in a Detroit Lions style offense, could he be?
Right. Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Top 5.
Exactly.
Maybe so.
Certainly. So he's not insane, and we'll get to him and a bit more too with the MVPs and stuff that what he needs to actually do to put this team over the edge, because they've been so close for so many years. It's time for them to take that slight leap. But number 5, we'll move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Foley. Defense last season was the top 7 unit. Total yards given up. And they had some early injuries. One of the better cornerbacks got hurt pretty early in the season. But they've made some free agency additions. They've made some additions in the draft. And I think the key to this unit is Mike Zimmer continuing to not take a head coaching role, I guess, and stay a defensive coordinator. How good can this unit be in 2012? Top 7, but can they sustain that? And how high can they get?
Well, it's getting kind of crowded at the top. Talking about Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And,
This is a division.
And,
Yeah.
and then we got
that's what this division does.
Right.
we got Houston, and we kind of assume Philly's going to be better too, but that's just 4 teams.
Yeah.
So you're still talking about, then you talk about what they're going to be playing against too. I mean, they got AFC West, NFC East.
They 2 regular season games against the Browns. They play the Jaguars, play the Dolphins, and even the familiarity with the Steelers and Ravens. Yeah, so certainly
It kind of helps.
it certainly helps.
And we keep talking about this injury bug thing, and it's like, well, one year you might get completely bitten like multiple times. You can't keep somebody held. Every time you turn around, there's a new guy on the ground. And then you have one season where one guy stubs his toe in week 14, and you're like, woo, all right, I'll take it.
Oh, Cleveland fans don't know what that feels like.
No, that's because they poison their own players.
Right.
But, yeah.
And Marvin Lewis, I think, we know is a defense influenced.
Yeah.
So Marvin Lewis and Mike Zimmer, that
They
total influence.
They have everything in place, and then let's just assume that you won't have that many guys on the ground because it's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But they've been drafting with depth and drafting on defense for that depth. And I mean Jacksonville, Miami, Cleveland twice.
They can be a top 5.
Right.
I don't know that they will be, but
And Leon Hall didn't play most of last year.
Yeah,
He's a top 5 cornerback.
yeah.
He's a top 5 cornerback.
And
And they drafted.
I love Zimmer too.
No,
He's great.
Bob starting the team. He's my DC.
Yeah.
Like not even in question. And then they drafted Dre, Kirkpatrick, and Devin Still early in this draft, and those are both solid players. And Dre will probably start coming out of the bat. And they stole. They traded for Taylor Mays from San Francisco, and if he gives you anything, he is the wild card because he's a USC product, so you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
But they got him, and even at safety, you can make that work at some degree.
Yeah,
But-
and momentum is such a big thing. Momentum and rhythm and having a full off season again. I think that we're gonna keep saying that, or at least I know I am, and that's gonna be a big deal for this unit, especially if they get some help. And when you start looking at the schedule, and we'll get into this a little bit more later too.
Oh, yeah.
The beginning of that schedule, that first month and a half, they got Ravens, and then they got a whole bunch of winnable games.
Probably Jacksonville, by Miami.
Yeah, they got Browns twice in the first 6 weeks.
Right.
Redskins, Jags, Dolphins.
Yeah,
And
they should win those games.
You can look up and be 5-1, and when you're 5-1, you can get a funny look on your face.
And
like,
you get confident, yeah, no doubt.
You start feeling a certain way, and then when you get down there and you got to play the Giants, and you deal with Peyton, and you get to the end of and you play the Cowboys in Week 14, so you never know what the hell that's going to be, because are the Cowboys going to be? Is this going to be the month where they're taking a shit and they can't do anything right, and you catch them on one of those?
That's
weeks?
Romo Major League, right?
Yeah, so and then they got the Chargers Week 13 too. Like,
Yeah,
for the Chargers
right.
game. Like,
Is it there or is it?
let's see, the Chargers game is at Chargers.
Okay, so they're little, they tend to be comfortable.
So there's a lot of things in place that says Cincinnati could have.
But as good as the defense was a year ago, number 7 yards, only 11 turnovers, 11 interceptions. I don't know how many fumbles they forced, but I think Leon Hall comes in and they do get a couple more, at least 3 or 4 more interceptions, if not more.
Yeah,
I mean he's a top 5 corner. And you're welcome, Foley. And he is from Michigan though, so it's bittersweet. But seriously, I mean,
It's the conflict within Foley.
right?
Yeah, he's hitting the X on that window right now.
But I mean, they're one of the as they normally are, one of the more perplexing teams because their offense is young, and we don't know what they can do offensively. But their defense is there, and their full coaching staff is pretty much defensive minded. They do have Gruden's younger brother, and he stayed too running the offense. So
Seed of Chucky.
But the only way they're going right, fair enough. But the only way that they will succeed offensively is through their quarterback, and that's number 6 on this list.
Sure.
Is Andy Dalton for real? Right? You like that? I did that.
Nice.
I walked out. I wasn't even trying. But Andy Dalton is their quarterback, rookie quarterback a year ago. He had a very respectable and somewhat surprising season.
Yeah.
Is he for real?
Well,
Number 6, top 11.
The turnover some weapons. And when you turn over, we talked about turnover.
Only 13 interceptions a year ago.
I mean, we're talking about turnover some weapons. Receiver group changed around quite a bit. Different starting running back. We're all under the opinion that he made an upgrade at running back. Are we confident in that?
It's the same. It's a swap out.
He's basically Benson.
It's the same model. Just swap them out, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know whether he has a receiving group in place
AJ Green, a year older. Oh, I love that. That's
He's nice to have.
the brown me.
The brown you.
We got to get some of this film out of you, man.
I'm telling you, you'd be amazed at what I can do. I'm amazing. Yeah, no, she, her, them, that one, no, yeah. So, yeah, slew of folks, but sorry, continue.
Yeah,
I mean, I have the stats. I have everything.
Yeah, you got some youth in place, but I'm not so sure. I'm not confident either way. Because it's the second season, a lot of things go wrong once you get film on a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair. But his character's there. I love him at TCU, and living in Texas, you watched them. They were on television, and 58% completion percentage. He could build on that. But again, it's like you said, what receivers are around him, but only 13 interceptions as a rookie. That's pretty impressive because he tossed it a fair amount, 3,400 yards.
Yeah, nice.
His character's there. His work ethic is certainly there.
Oh yeah.
He's defined for real. Are they still a playoff contender with him under center? Sure. So
I mean, he's not going to be. I don't see him screwing them out of games.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And he knows that. He understands his role in that offense. And yeah, the law firm coming in for Benson, that's a trade-off. If not, it's an upgrade. For like you made the biggest point, there won't be turnovers.
Right.
And not that Benson turned it over a lot. They're pretty much the same guy. So at worst, it's an equal trade-off. And they still have the same two guys behind them that you would fully love. And Leonard and...
I think Benson actually had 6 fumbles last year, which
Did
is a bit more than you want.
That's
as we've observed, Greenhouse has not fumbled in his career.
But AJ Green is propped up. He's a top 5 receiver today, and when he's done, he could be a top 2, 3 receiver. So, I mean, I don't see that dropping off, and they have 2 to 3 tight ends for him to work with. And so Cincinnati they're in the wrong division. I mean, in so many ways.
That is a tough division. I mean, you got 4 games automatically.
Right.
It's just going to be rough.
Right. And I mean, I love Foley. We all love Foley. And this is what he has to deal with, and I understand it. And it was the same thing we dealt with in New Orleans with when San Francisco and L.A. were good back in the day. You're just in the wrong division. And so, but you got defined for real. So, is he for real? Yeah, I think he is. I think he's He's in the top half of quarterbacks as far as his situation and managing his team.
Yep.
I concur.
So we move on to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, I feel myself getting sick. I don't know what happened.
One goddamn hit? No. Number 7.
Hold on, my staph infection is spreading.
Number 7. Who will be the starting quarterback for Cleveland?
Not.
And are there weapons there for that person to succeed?
No. No, Whedon will be the starter,
Right.
despite being 3 years older than Cole.
And 3 times better.
But
who's counting? By rough math.
I mean, partly we don't really know how good Cleveland's pass game weapons are because Colt can't really get them the ball.
Wow, I love that you say that. I don't have to.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can say it, so I don't have to.
I can, yeah. I like Colts, his moxie, but he is not NFL worthy here. But yeah, like Greg Little, I think with their top receiver last year, Ben Watson, he may have been hurt part of the year, so that was like Colts' favorite weapon.
Yeah, and Evan Moore and
Yeah.
No, they have talent.
Yeah, I just don't know if they're any good because
No, they have talent in those positions. They do, and it's a much murkier situation because yes, Whedon will be the starter. They've tried to trade Colt since they drafted, even before they drafted Whedon, and I'm a Whedon fan. I think obviously he's older, but I think he can run an offense in the NFL, but does he have the weapons in Cleveland? That's why I pose this question.
Like, I don't think these weapons are amazing, but I don't think I don't think these are the worst group of receivers I've seen.
They're not.
It may not even be the bottom 5 group of receivers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
They're big. They're physical.
Yeah. When you got size, you have a chance. Now you're just talking about do you have a guy that can stay upright long enough to get a ball up high? Now, Greg Little dropped a million passes.
He did drop a lot of balls, yes.
But some of those passes weren't. You eat a drop sometime when a ball gets thrown behind you. You throw your hand up and they call it a drop, and it's like, well, shit, who's gonna catch it?
I can't fly, and I've always been a fan of Moskwa, the SEC guy. So
Muhammad.
And Cribbs is they just don't know how to use. He's one of the most versatile players in the NFL.
Yeah, but you got to have a decent offense for a guy like that to work out.
Yeah, and you can't make him a full-time receiver if you want him to be a factor in the return game.
Like, he has to be a guy you almost forget about.
At this point, you have to do whatever you can.
Yeah.
And their offensive line is far and above average.
Yes.
And their defense is not bad either.
It's wonderful. We'll get to that. But nobody knows how great it is.
Well, because they're in the AFC North.
Right. It's all defense.
Really good defenses. Yeah.
But, I mean, and Trent Richardson coming in, and they're going to run the football, and they're going to run it effectively no matter what.
Again.
Because he's a great running back. And they're going to run the football. So,
and they still got Hardesty, right? And
just keep him healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brandon Jackson, you got to figure one of these guys are going to not make the team, but
probably so.
No, those 4 will make it.
You think those 4 will make it?
Those 4 make it.
This Thomas.
I don't know. Yeah. Those 4 will make it.
Yeah.
So they don't need Richardson to carry it 350 times.
No.
He can do.
And he will if you ask him to.
Right.
And he'll catch it out of the backfield. He'll give.
More likely, he's like 10, 15 carries a game.
Right. No. He's going to get 22 plus. He's going to get his carries, and he should. And Whedon will be the quarterback. He'll start, and McCoy will either be gone or quietly accepting his backup role.
The story seems to be that he's popular in Cleveland somehow. So.
Yeah,
that's why they're trying to get rid of him, where he could just go away.
Yeah, more successful.
And now they're trying
to kill his popularity.
So that the fans aren't training for McCoy when he throws a pick.
Yeah, because they know how the McCoy thing is gonna go. They've already tried it and they lost on it. So it's we're not trying to be doing that again. So there's weapons. They don't have the depth that I would like at receiver, but they have some talent that. Provided you get some decent quarterback play, you might be able to get more out of these guys than you would think. Mm-hmm. So I think that's my call on that.
No, I do like Josh Whedon. It's Josh, right? Brandon Whedon. So I don't even know his first name, but he doesn't know mine. So fuck him.
It's Josh Whedon.
But
Josh Whedon.
That's probably the
what you're thinking of.
Right. But I do like Whedon. And I think, in the least, I'm curious to see. It's not my favorite team, so roll them out there and let them toss it.
Sorry, Dave.
It's not my experiment, and Sarah. It's not my experiment, so I'll rather watch it not being, I guess, on the carry side. But the defense there is as dysfunctional and dysfunctional. Sorry, y'all. I drink a lot, but I'm still manning this fucking.
Cheers to that.
Still manning this podcast, but as dysfunctional as their defense, as their offense has been, their defense has quietly been one of the top 10 units since they moved to Cleveland, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, how the hell did they pull that off?
Well,
and secondly, can they repeat it?
Well, the stat you laid out was a yard stat, and I always felt like that's a stat that's pretty misleading because if you have a shitty offense, that means your field position is going to be horrible, and the team you're playing against is going to be 50 or 60 yards away from a touchdown instead of 80 or 90 yards away from a touchdown.
But last year they were 5th overall in points allowed.
Oh, well, shit. How did they pull that off?
How the hell?
Yeah,
That's why I pulled that up. Like, well, how the hell did they? And I'll tell you later in the podcast why.
Because when I see the yards, I don't get excited.
Yeah.
So, points allowed, I mean, they had a bunch of slow, ugly games. They ran the ball well, which is a great way to take the possessions out of the game.
And they're going to continue to do that.
How the Giants won that Super Bowl they won 5-6 years ago.
I remember they beat Seattle 6-3 one game last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't watch their games.
No.
That's slow.
The crowd. I'm trying to save him for the next segment, but the crowd Jackson is an amazing football player. But
just do
it. He's one of those tackling machines.
And I'll support it and tell you, and not support it. I guess in the same sentence. I don't know.
Oh.
Again, not so. But. So to answer the question, how do they do it? First of all, it's one of the most underrated units in football. I mean, it is. Nobody knows. It's almost as no name as Seattle, but they're doing it against slightly better competition. But they did play Cincy twice. It's a rookie quarterback. It's a remedial running game. They're going to run at you. You know what their approach is going to be. But the Colts, the Dolphins, the Titans, the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Rams, the Cardinals, and Jacksonville. Those are teams they played last year. Mm-hmm. So these are not these offenses that are scaring you. And I'll go through them again. The Colts, the Dolphins, the Titans. It was Titans after Hasselbeck. The Seahawks, 49ers, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Jaguars. So, and, Cincinnati twice. I guess that was reiterated. But
and last year, looking at Cleveland's results, I mean they gave up 31 to Tennessee, 30 to Houston,
and those weren't even
23 to Cincy. They held Pittsburgh to 14 and 13, which is pretty impressive.
It's the same. The familiarity counts.
Yeah, but there were a lot of games against teams like St. Louis and Jacksonville. Yeah, they held those teams to 10.
Right, and
those teams hold.
And they get Cincy twice again this season, and Indy again.
Yeah.
But they get the Cowboys, the Broncos with Peyton, the Raiders, which we've been through that offense. It's got weapons.
Yeah.
The Chargers, the Giants, and the Eagles. It won't be as forgiving. The points are there to be scored. And I'm not saying they can't hold up. But
they can still have a really good defense.
They can, and I'll get like I said, it's a very underrated Fajita and DeQuell holding it down in that middle level, and so they should have locked up some more plays in the secondary. Their secondary is a little old. Like Sheldon Brown from the Eagles, he's been in the league forever, but I don't even have it on there, but it's on there, but. The secondary is just not there. They're just not young. So it'll be interesting to see going forward with this new quarterback. They have youth on offense. They do.
Yeah.
And they have a line, which you think offensive line is the way to build a team, but a defensive line is also necessary. And I don't really see any. That's
no names.
Redeemable.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I thought Andy, not Andy, what's his name? Holmgren.
Mike Holmgren?
Yeah. So, But that concludes the 8 questions of the
8 of 11.
on the team. So breathe a sigh of relief, I guess. So now we
MVP.
Yes.
move on to question 9. Yes, the MVP of each team, offensively and defensively, meaning who needs to be the guy, who needs to step up on either side of the ball for this team to succeed. And we'll start with Baltimore, who we probably all think will win the division, but we'll get to that in our last. So, Baltimore, offensively, who you got?
Sorry, still scrolling through pages here. Trying to get off the Cleveland page.
Oh, it's infected your computer.
So,
Yeah.
you want me to leave?
Raymond Rice.
iPad got a
Ray Rice is what I'm going with that. I mean, if he can keep that offense on schedule. The thing about Ray Rice is he'll have like a kind of questionable month every year where he's kind of not getting it, and they kind of sort of don't use him, and then there's this big storyline, and you got Ed reading them on TV saying, what the hell, why is he not getting the ball? Like, he can't have that month. And he needs to kill it all year. I mean, he's obviously elite. He's obviously, once you get to an end of a year, his stat lines are going to be outrageous.
Just got paid.
And, oh yeah, he just got
He
paid.
got paid a little. I mean,
He
$8 million
kind of
a year.
sort of
That's
got
what running backs get.
I mean, that's like D'Angelo Williams money.
But it's guaranteed.
Okay.
You don't. It's rare that running backs get guaranteed. But no, and yeah, he's the call, and he will have a solid season. You can mark him down, draft him top 5, do what you got to do. But Flacco's the guy. He is, because if he shows any kind of consistency, actually, it should be the fucking kicker, Cundiff, because he makes the fucking kick in the AFC Championship there in the Super Bowl. So I had Flacco, but it's the kicker. Everything else is in place. Just make a goddamn 30-yard field goal, and it's over. So yeah, it's Billy Cundiff. No doubt, because everybody else is gonna do what they need to do.
Ray Lewis didn't kill him?
It's Billy Cundiff, right? And that's the biggest shock of the offseason.
No, I mean,
It's Billy Cundiff.
Every
Done.
team goes through a season
Billy Cundiff.
where the kicker fucks up their year, you know.
But-
and then he's not an issue the next year. It's like,
this is right.
he doesn't have it. And then he comes out and scores 130.
This is a team that's been on the edge for a decade. Make the fucking kick.
You know who I want to see as the most important player, or, you know, maybe most interesting
Ricky's gone.
for this.
Ricky retired.
Oh, thanks, Captain Obvious, with 10,000 career yards. Suck it.
He retired, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Torrey Smith.
don't use my Captain Obvious. But yeah, no, I
Torrey
agree.
Smith. I want to see if he's as electric as we saw in a couple games last year, because his overall numbers were just good, but not great. You know, if they could have.
And as well as Flacco throws the deep ball, too.
Yeah, legit deep threat. That's a big
No.
thing for Baltimore to have. So yeah.
Not hug you if I could. But high five.
There you
High
go.
five.
I love me some Taurus, man. But no, that's a strong pick. Then defensively, this is the crapshoot because it's easy to say X guy and X guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm
But Suggs is done. So it's his fill-ins.
Yeah.
It's Upshaw and Kruger and Sergio or whatever the fuck his name is from Texas.
Oh, wow.
Kendall. It's those guys. They have to, because the middle, not with Lodinata and Ray Lewis, the middle is short up.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the ends that have to be short up. So it's the ends. It's the defensive ends, outside linebackers. That's where of course they're gonna be fine. They're gonna win 12 games, and they'll probably make the Super Bowl.
Right, yeah.
But that's where it goes. That's where it starts. And Suggs will probably be healthy right at the point where, I'm good, I played in the Super Bowl. but that, for me, and I wanted to get it out of the way because I need to pee. But defensively, for me, it's on the end.
Yeah.
It's whoever they put in Suggs' role.
That's safe money.
The Suggs placement.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
The successor. Is that
Right.
The successor.
Woohoo.
That's nice. That's fun. That's art. That's Jonesin On A Whim.
That's right.
We already got that. You can't steal that.
No.
Hopefully they have a succession plan. All right, I'm over.
No, we'll take that too. It's a succession plan. Done.
Sell it.
Just write it down.
All right, who's next?
So, no, what do y'all have on defense?
Oh,
Or do y'all just totally agree? I know I'm brilliant, but you have to have your own opinions. I didn't just plow you with.
I didn't agree with your offensive.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
let's see here. Yeah, you know Ed Reed's going to be good. It's Lewis.
in dead
Who's
time.
left?
Those corners. I mean, those corners were under fire.
They stepped up last year.
Yeah, but they gave away. They got to keep on stepping up because the year before they gave up some big plays.
Mm-hmm.
And with that defense, that's it's a hard sell to argue how you got beat when you got that type of safety talent around you.
Jimmy Smith is strong.
Yeah, so they got to keep it up though.
Yeah.
Because when all else fails, they got to be there.
Yeah, I think.
And all else is only going to fail like once every 4 weeks. Because that's how good this tech defense is.
Yeah, I got basically the secondary. Not just the corners, but I mean, we know they're good, but like I said, no excuse for getting burned with that sort of pressure up front and the covers that the linebackers give. And they're just good. So yeah, don't get burned, and you don't waste a great effort by the front line.
Right.
It should be good to go.
And all right, so on to Pittsburgh, offensively.
Pittsburgh.
You need an offensive and a defensive MVP.
Whoever they put at running back is going to have to be good. I mean, they ran the ball 24 times a game last year, which is less than what they wanted.
Yeah.
Considering
they were still a top.
and they were
look at how they ran the ball.
And they were still top.
It was shocking. Yeah,
it was still top 15.
Yeah.
But we're still talking about, if you're talking about a random team being top 15, that's not that big of a deal. But you're talking about Pittsburgh. Our existence is predicated on us running the ball, Steelers, and for them to be 14 or 15, that's how they could be ticked off. And so they're rolling with Redmond and Dwyer, and that's what they got. So maybe they know something I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, how many games did we see last season where it was like Roethlisberger's on half a foot and trying to win the game by himself because they don't have any rushing offense? I mean, I'm just amazed that they were still the top half rushing.
Yeah, that was a shock to me too.
Yeah, it must have been before Mendenhall went out.
Well, see, Mendenhall.
He played like half the season, right?
No, Mendenhall was off and on hurt. He missed a couple games.
Okay.
Then he blew out his knee in week 17.
Okay.
So the big injury wasn't until late, which is why the conventional wisdom tells you that he probably won't play. He'll be PUP and probably won't play at all this year.
Yeah, and I hate the first year after the ACL injury comebacks. I mean, although he is young, he's only 25.
And the bad news
feels like he's so much older, but
And the bad news is, I think this is his last year under contract. So if he gets eating Cheetos, he could be out of the league.
Yeah. For me, the key player is Mike Wallace. I mean, they've had all this.
He's not under the contract.
Right. Oh, it's restricted free.
He's not signed.
He's not signed. Yeah. Does he even play? That would be pretty key. I guess.
He's gonna, I'm
assuming he comes back. Does he come back and he just kind of loafs? He's like, screw this team, or does he, become a 1,500-yard guy?
And that's fair, because if it's under the tag, you'd think he'd be motivated. If you pay him, I'm not sure how he responds. Mm-hmm. But it for me, and I love this guy, and I know a lot of people don't, and I see him as a player that we might be as a player, and we'd hope to be.
Jericho Cotchery?
Isaac Redmond?
It's Big Ben for me.
Oh, okay.
It's Big Ben. If he doesn't get this offense, nobody's going to get this offense. Yeah. He's got to learn it. If he doesn't learn it, nobody else is. He's perfectly rated as a quarterback because he's in the top 5 because he's got 2 rings. But he's underrated as a mind. He's a smart guy. Of course, he made dumb decisions since being in the NFL. But it's him. If he doesn't understand this offense, nobody's going to. Certainly not Mike Wallace, who's not even signed a deal, not even on the roster right now. Hines Ward is gone. That's over. So the leadership is out.
Yeah, he's making Batman movies.
Yeah, right. So they were all in that. But the leadership on that side of the ball is fully on Big Ben. So if he doesn't take that role in and do well with it, then they're an 8-win team.
Yeah.
6-win team.
Yeah, and we can say what we want about Hines being dirty and out.
He should still be playing football.
Yeah, but they've thrown him off now, and
he's done. He's casted away.
Which really kind of the timing of that really sucks because this is a Pittsburgh thing. We've already talked about it once. When you're almost kind of sort of done, they just say, "Why don't you go ahead and go on to the house,
honestly, they
or at least get away from us."
They could use him. They don't. That tight end's like kind of maybe.
Yeah.
He's a short guy, but he.
But now you're talking Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, and apparently assuming Mike Wallace.
And he will sign. And they're still.
Oh, by the way, Mike Wallace kind of fell off the face of the earth the last month of the season last year.
And that's fine. But we talked about their offense earlier, and I don't see a fall off. But it's all dependent on the quarterback learning this new offense and him gelling with Todd Haley. And that's not easy. Todd Haley's ego is bigger than my. Yeah. So.
All right.
You get along with Todd Haley. Todd Haley doesn't get along with you.
Right. I mean, seriously, it's going to be interesting. So we'll see how it goes. But regardless, we'll hash that out when we determine wins and losses and all that. So we'll move on to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh. Did we do a defensive guy on Steve?
We did not.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why I keep you around.
Yeah.
Well, mine is easy. Y'all can both probably guess mine.
Go ahead.
It's Ryan Clark.
Of course.
Shocking.
And I'm biased slightly, but he is next to DeQuell Jackson. He might be the most underrated player on defense in the NFL. He's clearly the best safety, and they made some new additions in the secondary. And he's the one who puts them in place. He's the one who gets everybody in place in that back half. The back third, I guess, is the best way to say it. And it's Ryan Clark for me. One of the better tacklers. Of course, he can't play in Denver, so we have to worry about that. But,
not going to trade him there.
But it's Ryan Clark for me. LSU product, obviously, so that's why the bias is there. But I don't even know if it's bias anymore.
No, he's a really good player.
He's a great football player.
It's probably a good segue.
He should be a household name. He should be.
Yeah.
And he's not.
I mean, Polamalu grabs all the.
Right. It dumps the fire.
Right. Well, Clark and Polamalu were 1 and 3 in tackles on the team last year. So that tells you something about LeBeau's.
Bringing the stats.
Yes.
Yeah. Bringing the stats.
That is.
But, I always get worried when I see DBs, having a lot of tackles. I'm like,
what a good sign.
Yeah, and it's hard to go with that because their defense is so aggressive.
Yes.
That
they run it by people.
That's the players that they count on to make those tackles.
Yes.
So when everybody gets blocked or the guy who's supposed to get through doesn't make it, well, yeah, that's what you end up with.
Brian Clark is fucking amazing. I mean, I'm sorry. He's better in Pittsburgh than he was ever.
Yeah.
And I played against him in high school when he was a safety at Shaw. And he's a much. Dick LeBeau made him.
You schooled him?
No, but I mean, what he's become.
He took what you taught him.
Right.
Built on it.
I would never. That's true. I would never take credit for that again. But it happened. No, but I mean, what he did at Shaw is nowhere near what he's in LSU and what he's done in the pros. The coaching is clear. The impact of the good coaching was clear, and he's a wonderful football player. And wonderful is going to be my term in this podcast. It's going to be when I really do feel positive about a player. Wonderful. He's wonderful, and And he plays next to someone who takes so many chances and gets so much more credit. And that sucks for him, but he takes it in stride.
And he handles it.
He's Dick LeBeau. Like, he takes it in stride. That's his coach. You know, he takes it in stride and he just brushes it off. And yeah, I'm doing my thing. And we talked about the Steelers discarding players when they get to a certain age.
Yeah,
they're not discarding these guys. And Polamalu should get more credit than I give him, I'm sure.
Maybe, but
maybe not. I don't know.
But his job is kind of he's the run stopper. You know, come up to the line and make that fly through the hole. You know, and get the running back before the running back gets to the hole. That's kind of his play. I mean, Clark is more of, like you were alluding to, Art, that you have this aggressive defense and you need a safety who's there as a backstop, to stop the guys.
That understands, that can make the read and say, oh, hell, we call this defense that we probably shouldn't have called in this situation. I need to get back here and save this because I'm a safety.
He sees everything.
Yeah. So if he had 100 tackles last year, maybe he saved like 40 touchdowns. So
he's so underrated. He's so underrated.
So yeah, he's key for me too, Clark.
He's so underrated.
Yeah, that'll work. And I'll put a lot on Troy because we're talking about the safety play in Pittsburgh's defense, which is huge. And what we need to talk about, and we talk about this all the time, so why hold back for this? He makes the wrong guess on a lot of plays.
See any game against New England.
He blows continuous.
Thomas plays with him.
Yeah.
Hey, look, this is shampoo out over here.
He may be like the heavyweight champion of accidental interceptions.
No, he certainly is. Accidental interceptions,
and
yes.
some highlight plays on those.
Yes. But it's because he's so out of position that nobody could have fathomed that he would have been over there.
I don't hate him. I hate what the media's made him.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly a very decent human being. But he's an above average football player. That's it. Above average. I could play safety for the fucking Steelers if Ryan Clark is next to me. I mean, seriously. Or Darren Woodson. I could. That's Rod Woodson, sorry. But it's I don't want to get into it, so I'm gonna stop.
But those are the people.
He's backing away from the page.
Oh, he's backing away. But these are the people. So that's what we're talking about. So what, we're on the Cincinnati now?
Yeah, offensive. Cincinnati.
We talked a lot about Dalton, and that's who I had before we got here.
Nice.
So I'm rolling with that because if he takes a shit this season, he's going to torpedo them. If we just assume that the running game is going to be about what it was, they'll have the inexplicable Brian Leonard 5-play package in a row.
But they got the law firm.
Green Ellis will be sitting there what the hell?
Well, he's used to sharing the load, though.
Yeah, but it seems like he was. You got to believe he thought he was going to get some. He's going to get some more love.
More carries. He'll get more carries in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe.
Most likely.
I think they'll take the same approach. Yeah, that they did with Benson. And Benson's not done yet. I mean, he'll sign somewhere.
Well,
and the fact that he's not signed is kind of disappointing.
I'm guessing
he's a solid fucking back.
What the Raiders are waiting on something, right?
Who's that? What?
For Benson. I guess they're waiting for the DMC injury or what? I don't know what they're waiting on.
They're waiting for the summer to end to make sure he doesn't get a DUI on a boat again.
Yeah, I guess they.
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah.
They're not.
I'm kind of surprised the Ravens haven't at least talked to him.
Nah, they're good. They're good.
I was wrong. He had 5 fumbles last year and 7 the year before that.
Mm.
He's all right. But you weren't far off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
he should be on a football team.
I don't think those totals.
It's a running back. It's a running back.
That's a lot.
But Ronnie Brown got signed, so Cedric
Benson
Benson should be signed. I mean, he's on the wrong side of 30, but he's also
barely on.
His legs are
and he's in good shape.
Right. So he's going to land somewhere.
He will.
There'll be a preseason entry.
I mean, Kevin Smith got a job last year.
Tennessee feels like the right place for him.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
I think Tennessee will be where he lands. Yeah. It's just a random thought. So the offensive MVP. You want to get into it? Or you got one?
I got whoever the hell Cincinnati's number 2 receiver is, because
they lost.
We know AJ Green's going to be good.
No,
that deep threat.
right.
You know, I always like having
He's an everything threat.
Yeah, I like having a viable number 2. And if you take Jerome Simpson and put him in jail, and and then I look at what else they got. I mean, Gresham's really their next best receiver, and I guess he can roll.
Come on, that next best receiver. Come on, he didn't play last year.
Oh,
You look at that stat.
Shipley.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Shipley's good.
He's a slot guy, and that works.
That's complimentary to Green. Yeah.
And no, it'll work for the young quarterback.
All right. So my X factor is Shipley coming back off the injury.
That X factor is that your offensive MVP.
Oh well, yeah, he's my offensive MVP too. Yeah.
Well, mine is. I like where you were going. AJ Green is. I mean, he had a wonderful rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie season.
And
I'm trying to talk through my accent. Sorry. Wonderful rookie season.
And rookie receivers
They
don't do that well.
They don't. And he was a monster.
Yeah.
And he's going to open up a lot of things for them. Especially if you're right, if they do have a complimentary receiver on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can only distract so many players. And their running game opens up. And so it's still a young quarterback, obviously. But they need him to continue that threat. And please, it's a given. And like I said, with other players prior, like Rice should have been MVP given this analysis, but it's not always a given. Ray's done it for years, so AJ's got to do it in his second season, and I think he will. So offensively, it's got to be AJ Green. So that's mine.
Yeah. And then what defensively? I mean, I'm looking at Hall.
It's got to be. It's got to be Hall.
What
it's got to
can
be
he do?
Hall.
Because if we know where he is talent-wise. Now, where is he at health-wise? If he can come back and be healthy, and the rest of the team can be healthy, he's going to propel them big time.
Because the secondary's a mess. That includes Pac-Man Jones.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with all. I mean, the linebacking core is pretty solid, or really solid, actually.
Front line is depth. There's depth.
Front line, there's no superstar, but
but there's depth.
I think they picked up a pass rusher this year in the offseason, too.
They've drafted so well.
So
which is shocking.
They drafted so well in the last 3 or 4 years.
Not worried about the front seven.
No, it's certainly Hall. He's the unquestioned leader in that secondary, and they need a leader because Joseph's here in Houston, and he was the leader. He's gone. They drafted Trey Kirkpatrick and someone else, I think, this year. But Nate Clemens is aging, and Pac-Man Jones is insane. But he's a talent. If you can use him in any capacity, you do.
And he'll be in.
And he's like millions of dollars in debt, so he's working for the money. He's working, so that helps. Right, that's what that was the song I was thinking about.
So you better treat him right.
Terrence Newman, if you can just get, he's a talented football player.
Wait, he's on he's on the Bengals.
Yeah, so you got to get him.
Dallas fans are truckling right now.
Right, you got to get Dallas fans are.
Kevin is truckling right now.
Garbage. But I'm sorry, other than you, Kevin. We'll talk later. But
Harold called Kevin garbage.
And Jason Allen from the Texans. No, I didn't.
I kid.
Our biggest fan. I can't do that.
That's right.
All
But
right, so Cleveland, maybe. We ready for that?
Cleveland's.
Yeah. So Leon Hall, clean sweep. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Foley, let us know if you like that.
Concurrence.
And it is the obvious, and I mentioned him earlier, and it seems to be his return to that second. I mean, 11 interceptions a year ago. That's pretty weak for a secondary in this league. It's usually at worst it's 15 plus.
Yeah,
you should get one pass.
Right. So he'll pick that up, and Michigan product. Sorry again, but all right. So on to Cleveland.
Love your blue. Oh wait, that's Go blue or big blue or what are they?
Offensively, and I'll take your route here. I'll take a unit. The receivers have to step up.
Yeah.
Because Trent Richardson's going to run the football. That line's going to block. They're going to get that running game going. But these receivers that they're talented. They are. There's talent there. And Berlin Edwards is still out there. Bring him back. Fuck it. And just, but that's
he doesn't want to be poisoned anymore, man. Last week we talked a lot about running backs, and I felt like with this division, the way you get defenses off of your shit is you run the ball. And if you can run the ball, then defenses can't do the 9 in the box, safeties cheating up, Pittsburgh Steelers thing, which is what this whole division is trying to do to everybody that they play,
right?
Including the other teams in the division.
But a similar approach across the board.
You got to back that shit up when you start getting 5, 8, 7 yard gains, and heaven forbid you get a 15. And if Richardson is going to be this workhorse back that they're advertising him as being, I mean, he's going to have to do that for these guys. And he's going to have to do that in games where they're not winning. He's going to have to do that whether the quarterback play is shaky or not, which is going to make it even harder for him. So if he's able to pull this off, if Whedon jacks up his shoulder or something in preseason and now it's Seneca Wallace and Colt taking turns playing quarterback again, then he's going to have a high mountain to climb, man.
Yeah.
And if he can have the type of season that people are saying he's going to have in his first year with this team, man, they're gonna shock people. Like if he has that type of season, I'm not sure if he does or not, but that's who I'm looking at.
I'll be surprised if he gets over 1,000 yards for 2 reasons. One, playing 6 games against those other 3 defenses in the North.
Yeah.
And number 2, I don't think they need him to be carrying the ball that much. You know, they got decent other running backs.
Yeah.
They want to develop Whedon and the passing game. So, okay, yeah, ball control's nice, but I don't see, him having like a 4.5 per carry average.
Who's that?
In that division.
Trent Richardson.
Yeah.
Not 4.5.
No.
You know, I mentioned the Baylor guy they stole in the supplementary draft.
Oh, Gordon?
Yeah. That's right.
So he's a receiver like we've mentioned. We said earlier, you don't initially come into the league and dominate. Not
most of the time,
unless you're special. And I'm not saying right, and I'm saying Gordon is. He's not AJ Green or Randy Moss or he's not, but he's a threat. So, but Trent Richardson is he's gonna.
Oh, he'll be a good back.
He's gonna run the football. They're gonna run the football with him, and he's going to be I don't want to fantasy wise, but I would draft him pretty 5th, 6th round, but
no,
or earlier. It's a steal.
You're not getting that.
No, you should.
If you don't,
he should be gone.
If you don't take him by the end of the first round,
he should be gone.
You're probably not gonna get it.
He should be gone. So
I might take him 3rd round.
Yeah, he won't be there.
And small, like big time small.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's probably gonna be 2nd round.
A lot of upside. Yeah.
And heaven forbid he randomly.
He goes into the league. He's the 4th or 5th best back in football. I mean, he's that dynamic.
Yeah.
I knew that. I saw that 4 years ago, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I guess it's better because the first time I saw him. And
no, I think he'll have a good career, and he doesn't run as recklessly as Peterson. So I don't think he's gonna be getting hurt as often.
He doesn't run up, and he's bigger. He's bigger where you need to be bigger. His legs are huge.
Well, he's shorter.
Right.
So,
it is right.
Yeah, and that's the prototype, body for a running back. Short guy that can run you over.
Right. No, I think it's going to be epic. But
so Richardson is that's who I went with.
Yeah, I got Whedon. I want to see how precocious he is. I mean, I know he's 28, but as far as getting that passing game going to open up things for Richardson, and they don't have. I mean, with their defense, they don't have to score a ton.
Right.
I think the expectations are not high this year. They're probably thinking if we can go 6-10, we'll throw a ticker tape parade.
Right.
So there's not a ton of pressure on Whedon. So, I can't speak about their coaching staff there and how well he'll develop.
I don't even know who their coach is.
I
I
think that's the most important
it's
cog.
It's supposed to be on here, but yeah. Still not. It's supposed to be up there. They don't even know. But yeah. So defensively.
D. I got antibacterial medication.
No staph infections.
Attack of
No staph infections.
bacteria.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Well, I mean, Dequan Jackson is incredible.
Nobody knows who, you know. And I've like screamed his name for 3 years, and the stats are there. When he plays on that defense, they're a top 10 unit. When he doesn't, they're a disaster.
So, yeah.
He's a wonderful football player. I think he's out of Maryland. I think maybe. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, no, unquestionably, DeQuan Jackson.
Yeah, that works. He's out of Maryland.
Yeah. Unquestionably, one of the best middle linebackers in football, and nobody knows who the hell he is. I was begging for the Saints to draft him. We didn't, but whatever.
Stagnated.
He's definitely their MVP on defense because he's healthy, and
antibacterial.
Right.
Yes,
that works too.
Gels and
gels,
oozes and the like.
Don't say oozes when you're talking about Cleveland, because you're certainly talking about it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, bacteria oozes.
Yeah. So and we could rave about it for minutes, hours, but I mean,
so we'll just let the nation.
Just know who DeQuell D.
Yeah, don't look at me to try to spell.
It's in there somewhere. Take notice.
It's phonetic.
Especially Saints fans.
Really? Is it phonetic? That's pretty good.
Especially, it rolls.
Well, if you feel that a W belongs to 12.
Number 10 will be interesting, I think. I'm not sure we'll agree on all these.
We won't.
We might, but we might not.
Yes, of course.
But number 10 is the top player at each position fantasy-wise. Which y'all, the four of y'all call me, text me, all this bullshit. Leading on me for the fantasy stuff. So let me just listen to this, each division, and we're done. So I don't need to deal with this shit in season. My wife doesn't. The wife doesn't like my phone exploding at 10 a.m. every Sunday. Doesn't bother me. I kind of enjoy it.
Is that putting it on vibrate?
It's still on vibrate, but she hears the vibration. But and I do enjoy.
I'm gonna stash all the material and jokes that I have.
Yeah,
right. No,
something came to mind, and I was like, that's.
So anyway,
inappropriate.
Top players at each position.
I do
fantasy wise. Quarterback, who y'all got?
Big Ben. They're gonna throw, and he's the best quarterback.
I think it might be a landslide.
Yeah,
I got that.
He's the best quarterback in that division. They're gonna throw. Next question.
Yeah, they have to. They have nothing else.
Yeah, so I'm giving that next question status.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Moving on.
The running back.
Raymond.
This is questionable.
It is questionable, but I'm gonna go with Raymond Rice because man crushes last for a long time.
Yeah.
So is Ricky not? He's done, right?
Yeah, he's retired.
Who's the backup in Baltimore? You can maybe.
It is
might be easier to use my. Yeah.
No, I'm all added up now. I just see.
Yeah, let's see here.
I pulled them down because I knew I wasn't going to argue about Raven.
Ravens backup.
It is Anthony Allen.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Anthony Allen. So Ray Rice is even more important to the team.
But Trent Richardson is.
But Anthony
he is tempting.
Yeah. It's tempting because of the volume of touches that he'll get. But with Ray Rice, there's going to be a lack of shenanigans this year.
Yeah, and speaking of a volume of touches, I mean, the man had 76 catches last year.
No.
And he was, carrying the load.
We can rank backs another day, but if he's third,
he's going in the top 5 of every fantasy game.
Right.
He should be going.
No, but I mean, if we're ranking running backs as far as overall anything,
awesome.
If he's third, then
Yeah,
that's the lowest we're gonna put him.
Yeah.
No, it's Ray Rice and Richardson is tempting, but
it's tempting, but it's
because of the offensive line. That's it.
It's risky money.
Receiver. This should be easy. This is a clean sweep, I think.
I'm assuming Mike Wallace shows up and he's just going to have 5 72-yard touchdowns, and that'll be enough for this division.
Okay, we're not unanimous then.
No.
I'll go with AJ Green.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
So will I.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. There's no fucking doubt.
He should.
Yeah, he's gonna run away with this.
He should.
He's wonderful.
He should,
Yes.
but I'm going with the Mike Wallace. They figure it out, and he needs to blow up for them to win those games.
Ben's big Ben. This very big.
Yeah, Wallace has got a slightly better quarterback, a more chucking friendly quarterback.
One route. He runs one route.
And he's got a little more experience.
But Antonio Smith.
But I think Green is better.
There's better receivers around Mike Wallace than there are around AJ Green. AJ Green is a top 3 receiver in this league. Oh, no. Yeah,
he went there.
I did.
Well, we all know who's number 1 and 2.
It's Larry. It's Larry, Calvin, and him.
Larry, Calvin,
and him. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because Andre's a disaster.
Well.
My knee just did whatever. Yeah. No, those are the 3.
Don't look at me to defend Andre.
I know.
I'm not the right guy.
I know you with me.
I'm not the right guy.
And I know he's with me.
Yeah, I'm not the right guy.
No, that's it.
We'll talk about that when we get to division.
Right. Yeah.
Talk about his overrated.
But that's the 3 for me. And you start to noodle that around, then you're like, there you go.
I don't have 5 names to tell you that you're crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Off the top of my head.
No.
So,
I'm bringing it. Even drunk as shit. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing the 3. Those are the 3.
Fantasy-wise or just, talent-wise?
Everything.
Fantasy-wise? Because, somebody like Roddy White or Greg Jennings.
Fantasy-wise.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I agree. Green is a dynamic receiver. He's. I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year.
No, and those are 2 very good counter names. And they're 4 and 5,
Yeah.
That's fine, but they are 4 and 5. So tight end. This is interesting. Tight end.
I don't know how interested I am. I don't know how many. I'm looking at Gresham just because of lack of other receiver options potentially.
But they have.
And Cincinnati is gonna.
They have the other guy from
not
Green Bay in Cincinnati.
Donald Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but come on.
But no, I'll still take Gresham.
Because Donald Lee.
But isn't he 40?
No.
No, you think about Bubba Franks.
Oh, okay.
Right. But Ed Dixon's right around there too because he gets those long catches. Yeah. I'm not drafting any of these guys, but that's.
Gresham is going to be there in some weird round. He has no business being there, like 14.
Right.
And
it's just they use Donald Lee a lot more than they should. So it's hard to draft. I'm not drafting any of these guys. By the way, if I were drafting, I'm not drafting.
Yeah, Gresham may be at the end of the fantasy draft. Last round thing.
He might be there, and it's just somebody to take on some just in case, provided he's healthy.
But Ed Dixon's a tight end, right?
I said Ed Dixon's second for me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I probably have to go with Gresham.
But they have 2 younger guys too in Baltimore that they lean on too. So
Gresham's had some injury problems, and when he's actually been healthy, he's had pretty decent numbers. So
we're not drafting any tight end from this
division.
From this division.
Openers behind you.
I know.
All right, so now we're taking it to the defense. Do we have a lot to talk about?
No, kicker first. Kicker first.
Oh.
Kicker first. Defense is obvious.
Kicker first. Billy Cundiff. Just kidding. Well, maybe.
He wouldn't. It's not horrible.
You never take Pittsburgh's kicker because Heinz Field's an impossible place to kick.
But Swami's done well.
Swami. So does that mean you take?
I'm taking Swami.
Oh yeah.
Swisham, yeah. For me, yeah. Because look at the numbers from a year ago. I think he was probably higher than.
Was he a decent percentage last year?
Yeah.
Well, he'll obviously get
because they scored a lot.
Yeah,
they scored a
lot.
With
their offense.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's who I have.
Who's remind me who Cincy's kicker is?
Yeah. Nugent, I think. Mike Nugent. Another Ohio State fella. It's Nugent, I'm pretty sure. Ex-Jets kicker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't been the same since.
The Browns won't get in the red zone enough for Phil Dawson.
No, Dawson's money, but yeah.
His opportunity.
Their offense is so remedial.
So maybe it is Cundiff if he keeps his job.
He's still alive, so I guess he gets to keep his job.
Really?
I mean, what if he misses 2 kicks in the first 3 games, he might come up missing.
That's a big. I mean, that was a big miss, and he survived.
He's got to be on a short leash, though. You know?
I'm surprised. No, I'm still shocked he didn't come up in some kind of
Floating position.
like some shallow pool of
Face down.
death. Yeah.
Yeah, a pool of
No, honestly, I
liquid
mean,
of the month. Yeah.
God, Baltimore just.
Schwammy.
Okay.
Go with him. God.
All right, so
I got to stick with Cundiff.
and then defense. I think. Well, I mean, this is a league of good defenses. So.
It is. I'm going Baltimore, though, because if Ed Reed is upright for 16, 13,
He'll get the turnovers.
He's going to be all up on the scene getting turnovers. And his existence causes sacks. And
But no songs with the sacks. So
I know, but
I'm still going with Baltimore.
It's still on.
Yeah, I'd still go with Baltimore as well.
It's still on.
Yeah. Yeah, I got them too. I think Pittsburgh may take a slight step back, give a little clearance for Baltimore to be number 1 there. So, yeah, but you shouldn't be upset if you end up with any of these defenses.
Right.
No.
We'll do maybe a fantasy
For sure.
of defenses and how we draft them. So the final question: where did in this division? Where do these teams end up at the end of the season? I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we all agree at 4.
Yeah, we can go up from there.
So who's third?
So Cleveland 4.
Cleveland 4.
Yes.
Sorry, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah. But
If y'all are fucking listening, assholes.
Sorry, Dwight.
But like I said, 6 and 10, they're throwing a ticker tape parade. So yeah.
Right. No, they make that's doable.
Yeah.
So 3.
I'm going Cincinnati, but I'm not so
Third.
sure. I'm not so sure about it.
I'm with you. I'm there.
I'm going Pittsburgh.
How many wins?
I'm picking them to slide back to still with a good defense. 9 and 7.
Well, I got 9. Well,
Yeah.
Cincinnati, you got them at 3rd. We both have them at 3. I have 9 wins, but I have Cincy winning. I mean Pittsburgh winning some kind of tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
Over.
I guess I got Cincy in the tiebreaker
Right.
because 9 and 7 sounds good for them too.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's not horrible for them.
I have both of them with 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I had them down a little bit lower than that. So I'm really struggling with some of these games that they have and where they have them. But yeah, I mean, I got Pittsburgh second, and of course I got Baltimore winning the whole division, and I got them. In double-digit wins, but nothing like a 13. I'm looking to pull up their schedule again, trying to find that also.
Nah, it's 11 to 12. Yeah. They're gonna win 11 to 12.
I gave Baltimore 11 too.
Yeah.
I can see 11.
Yeah. That's what
I think I was playing it really conservative.
It's about time that team. That's whatever.
Yeah.
Let Ray just go off and But yeah, no, I got 11 to 12.
Yeah, I mean, that last month is not outrageous.
So right, no,
I mean,
so you
at Redskins, Broncos, Giants, at Bengals.
just somebody I know, but so we all have Cleveland 4. We
I had Pittsburgh 3.
Yeah,
Cincy,
Pittsburgh 3.
Cincy 2.
But you had the record similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
both 9. I have them both winning 9, and then Baltimore obviously winning.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go Cincy 9, 6, and 1.
Right. Donovan remembers the tie again.
Yeah.
That's who they tie.
No.
So yeah, it's not for me to bring that up, but it was there.
Oh, Donovan.
So
Swisham was 22nd in scoring last year with 105 points.
Yikes.
see, that's good.
Well,
As kicker or as overall?
Well, that's overall, but I think the only non-kicker, or 2 non-kickers were ahead of him, Gronkowski and McCoy.
So that's good.
Oh, I'm sorry. So he was 20th in scoring as a kicker. That's not
As a kicker, that is not
No,
good.
just kickers alone.
He was the 20th most scoring kicker.
He was
But I
23
still-
for 31 kicking field goals, which is okay.
No, it's kind of.
It's
2 out of. That's what.
It's 3 out of 4.
That's 3.
I just like saying swimmy swami.
Shwami Shwami. He's Canadian. Does that change your opinion?
No, I just call him swimmy swami. Renee, I love Canadians. Sorry. I assume you might listen to this.
Nugent was
Renee.
actually
Swami.
7th in scoring last year with 132.
Swimmy swami.
And Cundiff was 11th.
Yeah, Nugent. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Phil Dawson was 30th. Ouch.
Yeah, because they don't score.
I could have sworn they had 210 points on 70 field goals.
So next week, I don't even remember who will. Let's see. It'll be an NFC division next week. We'll dive into East.
Would it be?
But
Probably East.
it may be. That'll be interesting.
Let's do the East.
And
we're saving the South, right?
so yeah,
We're saving the
yeah,
South.
it's the end. So thank you, love you. Later.